How I ended up saving myself $500 on a headset that was supposed to be out of warranty. For context, I'm a VR nerd. I've tried at least 7 different headsets, and the Valve Index blew me away the first time I used it. The clarity, the immersion, the sheer presence. It's like stepping into another world. But as good as it is, the Index comes with baggage. The hardware can be fragile, and the warranty is embarrassingly short, just 1 year. For something that costs $1,000, you'd expect better protection. For the first year and a half, mine worked fine. But then, right around the 20-month mark, the screen developed a serious problem. A huge square right in the middle of my vision went dim, almost like a spotlight had burned into it. Everything around the edges looked normal, but the center looked like it was fading away. I went through all the usual troubleshooting. Swapped cables, tried different plugs, tested it on a completely different PC. Nothing fixed it. At that point, I knew it had to be the headset itself. Just the standalone headset, without the controllers or tracking base stations, sells for $500. And to make things worse, it's almost always out of stock. That left me staring down 2 lousy options. Either wait indefinitely, hoping Valve restocked, or buy a whole new $1,000 kit. Neither made sense. So I contacted Valve support, hoping maybe they had a repair option, or could at least sell me the parts. Their response? A flat no. They told me the warranty had expired, they had no repair depots, and they didn't sell individual parts. Their only advice was to keep checking the store. That was it. No sympathy, no options. Just buy another one. I wasn't satisfied. Something about that felt wrong. A product that expensive shouldn't be disposable after 20 months. I live in California, and I remembered hearing that state laws sometimes offer more protection than a company's warranty. So I did some digging, and what I found was the Song-Beverly Consumer Warranty Act. It was originally written for cars, but it covers electronics too. And buried in the text was a line that changed everything. Any product sold for more than $100 must have parts and repair information available for at least 7 years after it's manufactured. 7 years. Not 1, not 2, 7. Valve couldn't legally just shrug and say, we don't do repairs. They were supposed to have parts available, even if I had to pay for them. So I went back to support and asked if I could buy a replacement controller board. They said no. I asked if there were any authorized repair centers. Again, no. That's when I brought up Song-Beverly and explained that I believed they were in violation. And then, silence. My tickets went unanswered for weeks. While I waited, I kept digging. I found a case called Bronson versus Samsung, where a judge ruled that this exact law applies even after a warranty expires. Samsung had tried to dodge responsibility, and they ended up paying almost $500,000 to settle. That gave me confidence that I was on the right track. And then I remembered Valve's own terms of service. Buried in the warranty agreement was a clause about disputes. Any disagreement had to go through arbitration with the American Arbitration Association. Normally, that protects companies by keeping them out of court, but arbitration isn't cheap. It costs thousands of dollars just to file a case. And here's the kicker. Valve's agreement promised to reimburse customers for those fees if the claim was under $10,000. So if they forced me into arbitration, it would cost them more money than simply giving me a new headset. Their own fine print had become a trap for them. I didn't make threats or get angry. I just spelled it out clearly in my support thread. I said I believed they were in violation of California law. I said I considered our ongoing conversation my good faith attempt to resolve the issue before arbitration, and I reminded them of their own agreement, which required them to cover the fees if I had to take it further. About a week later, I got a new message from Valve. Suddenly, the tone had changed. They said they decided to make an exception because of my ongoing enthusiasm for VR and support for Steam. That was their polite way of saying, we know you've got us cornered. A brand new headset showed up at my door the following week. I shipped the broken one back, and just like that, I'd saved myself $500. The story doesn't quite end there. A couple of months later, Valve quietly started offering standalone replacement parts, things like headset cables and individual controllers, on their store, items that customers had been begging for. Maybe they realized that other people were starting to notice the same loopholes I had. So in the end, I didn't scream or demand. I didn't have to. All I did was read the fine print, know my rights, and calmly remind them of their own obligations. And sometimes that's all it takes to win.